Then you gotta get that hand rub, cause you know what I'm saying. You do that hand rub when something good is on the way. You know, something good on the way. But welcome, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. 2/3 of the Less Than Stealthy Ninjas. Around your miss, Scootaloo. Shouts out to Cosmic Boss. And we're here to talk about WWE Royal Rumble 2023.
Yes.
Um, of course, we're gonna start off with an overview and how we think, and then we're gonna bleed into spoilers because boy, it was a cinematic masterpiece
It
at the end
was.
of the show. It
It
was
was.
it was it was as good as any movie. It
Yep.
was as good as any TV show build up. All of the above. But I guess let's get some thoughts and feelings out. Um, Overall, how did you feel, about the Rumble?
I enjoyed it overall. I even actually only very, very fractionally enjoyed Ray Wyatt, which never happens. So I enjoyed it overall. I thought it was quite entertaining. I probably stood up for half of it.
So overall I thought it was worth watching. Um, the two Rumbles I thought were pretty good, especially the men's Rumble.
Mhm.
Um, the singles matches, I thought the Bray Wyatt LA Knight. Well, to run down the card, it was the men's Royal Rumble, the women's Royal Rumble, Bray Wyatt LA Knight in the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match, Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's Championship, Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship of the Galaxy World. But and the only match I did not like at all was Bianca and Alexa Bliss. I feel like their chemistry together is not there. Um, the Bray Wyatt and LA Knight Pitch Black match, that was an interesting spectacle to see. Um, the Rumbles or Rumbles, depending on how you feel about Rumbles, whether yay or nay. But that main event, I see why they left it for the main event.
Yeah.
But I think personally speaking, because I don't know how much you're into reading rumors and gossip and dirt sheets with wrestling. I don't know who is leaking WWE's information or how these people be finding that stuff, but that's what's going to start ruining these pay-per-views, especially like your major pay-per-views. Excuse me, because some of the information was kind of leaked a little while ago. So, and if you know, you know, like it was pretty apparent who was going to win the Rumbles if you listen to the dirt sheets and things like that. But other than that, I enjoyed myself. I had fun watching. You know, I'll say 3 out of the 5 matches is worth watching to me. The two Rumbles in the main event, Roman and KO. So, um, what else? I mean, we on that road to WrestleMania. We got WrestleMania in April. WrestleMania goes Hollywood for the second time. So
Oh.
I'm here for it. Anything else you got to say before we start dipping into the breakdown?
No, I don't. I wasn't really against the match with Bianca and the girl
But
Bliss. I almost called her a whole bunch of stuff. I love Bianca, so
I do
you know,
too.
I was all into it. I don't care about Bliss one way or the other. You know how I am.
Understandable.
When I don't care about somebody one way or the other, they could get thrown off a building. I'd be like, man, like LA Night. Oh man, so so
All
I
right.
I enjoyed it.
So this is the part of the show where we about to get into spoilers, and in Royal Rumble fashion, we're gonna just count it down for y'all. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, the show opens up with the men's Royal Rumble,
Whew.
and boy, big meaty men
Thank
slapping
you, Lord.
and bumping meat.
Yes, Lord. Yes.
I don't remember everybody's order, but Gunther was one and Sheamus was two. And shout outs to Gunther. That's
Shout
a
out.
man.
Shout
That's a
out.
man.
That's a man.
Gunther,
That's a man, daddy.
all
That's
my
a
pals is
man.
downstairs, but Gunther lasted, I think they said 1 hour and 11 minutes. He was from beginning to the end.
Yes.
Gunther's a man.
That's a man.
That's
He
a
was
man.
tired, and bleeding.
I don't know if he's a father, but that's a man.
He's a man.
That's a man.
Bruh, I wouldn't have
Look,
made
at one point in the Rumble, Gunther, Sheamus, McIntyre, Brock Lesnar, and Bobby Lashley was all in there. That is a lot of beef.
That's a lot of big old tall men. And I was
That's
like,
a lot of beef in
my
the ring
favorite
at
European
once.
duo.
And boy, they was big meaty men bumping meat.
Slapping. I was like, oh, I would not want to be in that ring and get run over by
No,
any of those gentlemen.
no, no. Um, as far as Rumble surprises, we only had three. We had Edge returning, we had Booker T,
Mhm.
and we had Logan Paul. Those were our Rumble surprises. Everybody else was pretty much announced.
Yeah.
And some of the eliminations was great. Some of
Yeah.
the actions was great. One thing I love, and I know you don't really care for them, I love how they made Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar just on site. Like Brock came
I
in,
enjoyed that. I did
like
enjoy
Brock came in doing his thing. Bobby was the next one after on site, on
But
site.
we can't leave out the king of the monsters.
Oh, that's right. The big beefy Braun Strowman eventually came in. Like I said, it was just beef.
It's a lot of man.
It
It's a
was
lot of
it
man.
was just a Omos at one point was in it, so it was just
I'm out. I'm rolling out the
it
ring.
was
Like
just,
say his
it
name,
was
I'm
just
gone. Hmm.
beef. And then number 30 was the returning Cody Rhodes, which they already announced, which that's one of the things they shouldn't announce. They shouldn't have had announced that Cody was going to be in it. They should have just let that been a surprise. But Cody was number 30. And they did something really different that they didn't do in other Rumbles. Um, when it came down to the last two men, Cody and Gunther damn near had a match.
Yeah.
Like, they had a fight to determine who was going to win. And ultimately, Cody got the W.
Cody won me
But
over last night. He won me over.
but
Like,
like I said, Gunther, that's a
man,
man.
that is a man. Like, I was really, really impressed because, like, at the end of the day, that's a lot of work to be in a ring for all that time. And yeah, they were taking little breaks on the side. I just want to be a fly on the wall between my favorite European duo because they was whispering and giggling to each other, and I was like, I want to know what y'all talking about. I
Right?
want to know who y'all talking about.
And shout outs to McIntyre and Sheamus because they was teamwork to the end.
Yes,
They was teamwork to the end.
yes, my favorite European duo. Come on, yes, yes.
Like they really, really did show teamwork. And for the people who typically watch Royal Rumble, Kofi Kingston, I guess the planned spot for Kofi, he was supposed to get thrown into the office chair, but I guess he got thrown into the chair so awkwardly that he couldn't properly catch himself.
I it looked like that Xavier when he was pushing the chair up, like the timing was off.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, poor Kofi.
Well, I don't know if you know, but Kofi's history is he saves himself.
Ah,
So the last couple of years it's been going wrong because every like 1 year he was thrown out, but he was thrown out to where only 1 foot hit. So he was able to like handstand and like, handstand his way back to the steel steps.
Mm,
One time he got thrown out and he was placed on the barricade and he was able to jump from the barricade back to the ring steps.
not me.
One other time the New Day caught him and they was able to bring him back to the ring. One time when they was doing the pancake gimmick with New Day, one of his feet was saved with pancakes. So it didn't hit the floor. So every year he always did some type of stunt. And last year it went wrong. And this year it went wrong.
Yeah.
And then in 2020, Brock Lesnar just straight threw him out. Like it was just straight, get out of here.
Oh,
Like it was no save. So for 2 years in a row now, Kofi wasn't able to do his specialty, save myself, and get back in the Rumble maneuvers. But it is always funny because every time he saves himself to get back in the ring, he usually gets out like 2 minutes later.
well, hey, what's the last dude's name?
Cody Rhodes?
No, then that's not who I'm talking about. The blonde one that does the social media.
Oh, Logan Paul.
Okay, I don't like Logan Paul, right? However,
Understandable.
him and Ricochet meeting in midair, that did
Yeah.
it for me.
Ricochet. So there was this part where Ricochet and Logan Paul was on opposite ends of the ring, and they was jaw jacking. They both springboard off the ropes, glided midair, and it was like that's the spot. So this is the unique thing with Logan Paul. Logan Paul is going to be a victim of, we know what he's done outside of wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Like we know that he's essentially, I don't want to say a bad person, but we know he's done some questionable things in his personal life. And it sucks that he's athletic as hell.
He is.
He's very athletic.
Yes.
And to be honest with you, wrestling is a good spot for him
Yeah.
rather than boxing. But he's just known as a fuckhead. Let's just go ahead.
He's a fuck boy. It is what it is, Like,
So depending on how you feel, if you let the art be the art, or if you can't differentiate the art from the person, then you're gonna feel how you feel about Logan Paul. But yeah, like I said, there were some good spots, there were some good moments. I'm not as critical as the wrestling internet is about it because there's been a lot of people really shitting on it. And I'm not as overly critical because the Royal Rumble is going to be the Royal Rumble.
right.
Like, it's not as, I don't want to say glamorous, but it's not as, I guess you could say glamorous. It's not as glamorous as it used to be, especially with this new age internet, because everybody wants spoilers, everybody wants the deets. So we as an internet tend to kind of ruin things for ourselves because we want deets, so I enjoyed it. As
I
a
did.
fan of Rumbles, I enjoyed it.
I did too. I was just like screaming at the TV. I really enjoyed it. I mean, you got a lot of really good athletic people out there, and they are doing their best. And at the end of the day, like I said, you are in a ring with a whole bunch of other people, and it's like, damn, it's a lot of people here. You're trying to do what you're doing. I'm gonna push you type situation. It's hot, it's lights, it's a lot going on. So shout out to all of them, with the exception of the people that, came out and just got out right away.
Shout outs to the men and women who are able to be thrown out and still grip the ropes.
Man, I'd be like this.
Because the fact that a lot of those spots, and we'll get to it later with the women, the fact that you're able to hold those ropes, not touch the ground, and not just slip. Because a lot of them have such planned spots, and it's like, damn, what happened? Because, like, for instance, with Gunther and Cody, remember when Gunther was throwing Cody out and he had the sleeper hold on Cody, and Cody was slowly pulling. I was like, what if Cody slips?
I definitely would have slipped. My hip would have gave out.
Because it's like, at this point, Cody's supposed to win.
Yeah.
What if Cody slips? And it's like, well, Gunther wins, y'all.
Everybody like
Now we got to rewrite the plans.
Right. Look. And
But
shout out to
shout out
Cody.
to the
Like,
fact that they're able to just do those spots to where they can hold on to the ropes and stay on the apron after taking moves and doing the most athletic things. Because I know my ass, I be to hit them ropes trying to grab, slip. Oh well.
on my back, on the ground. Then they ask me if I'm okay. No, I'm not. Call
I
911.
am not okay. Um, but yeah. Oh, also too, another key thing about this Rumble pay per view, that damn ramp was so fucking long.
Bro, I was like, why is it so long?
And
And
some of the people,
shout out.
mainly we'll get to the women, but some of the people was sprinting. I'm like, fam, I'm gonna trip over my feet.
And I'm gonna be tired. I'm gonna do, and then I'm gonna be laying there, and they like, "Ma'am, are you okay?
No,
I
no,
need
I'm not.
to get in the ring."
No, I am not okay at all. But yeah,
They
shout out to Cody. He wins. He will be challenging Roman Reigns because Roman Reigns, well, spoiler, Roman Reigns is still champ. And like I said, shout outs to Gunther. That is a man.
that's a man.
He lasted an hour and 11 minutes. Man,
Ain't no way.
came in at number one. That's a man.
Whew.
The next match, LA Knight, Bray Wyatt, Mountain Dew pitch black match. Um, this is the one thing about Bray they need to try to figure out. They keep trying to do these specialty matches with specialty lighting, and for us on TV, it looked cool, but apparently in the arena, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Because apparently there was one video of a fan watching the match on Peacock because he couldn't see.
Damn.
And basically, the match ended up being they turned the light side and they had a special black light to where the ropes glowed Mountain Dew green. Bray Wyatt had special little paint on him that was glowing. LA Knight's gear was glowing. And then they had like Mountain Dew logos and all this other stuff. I'm glad the match didn't last long. Um, Considering it was Bray's first match back in a good year plus. So I'm glad it didn't last long. Um, and after the match, Bray put on the mask. It wasn't so much the Fiend mask, but it was Fiend esque. And they proceeded to he proceeded to beat up LA Knight more and took him to another area where Uncle Howdy completely missed the elbow drop on LA Knight.
I think he was supposed to though. If you
See,
look
you
at
know
how
what? Mrs. Ladybug said the same thing, and I was like, I don't see why he was supposed to miss.
because it was supposed to break, and if you notice, LA rolled into the place that you're supposed to fall into. So I think his whole purpose was to open that hole so that LA could fall in there and
Just fall
be
into the pit of whatever. Okay.
yeah.
Well, when you put it that way, I can see it. But aesthetically, it looks just wrong.
Yeah. But
And
it gotta
and
work.
then once LA fell into the pit, fire was surrounding it. And then you see Mercy, Buzzard, Haskell's Pig, and I'm sorry, I said that all wrong. No, yeah. Mercy Buzzard, Haskell's Pig, and Abby the Witch all looking over where Uncle Howdy jumped from. And then you get the final shot of Bray, fire and stuff. Overall,
I went to the
it was
restaurant.
okay. It was okay. It was okay.
Yeah.
Um, Next match, Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Raw Women's Championship. Um, I'm glad this is over because Bliss and Bianca really do not have chemistry with each other. And I don't know if it's because of the height difference. I don't know because Bliss has always been known to kind of wrestle kind of safe. I guess because she's so small,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess she probably is prone to injuries here and there. But their chemistry ain't that great. Because I remember when they had that match on Raw for the Women's Championship, it wasn't that great. But ultimately, Bianca wins, and the way Bianca won was so flat. Like it was just like boom, 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 KOD, 1, 2, 3, and it was like, oh, that's okay.
All right, we're done here.
Yeah, we're
On to
done
the
here. And then
next.
afterwards, we get a vignette of Uncle Howdy and stuff, and I'm assuming Bliss is eventually going to go back with Bray Wyatt. So yeah,
No one cares.
at this point, then we get the women's Royal Rumble. Um, number one was Rhea Ripley. Number two was Liv Morgan, and this one had a little more surprises because they had a few more NXT people.
Hmm.
Um, Michelle McCool was in it, and then a returning Nia Jax was number 30. But other than that, I'm gonna give they had big strong women bumping meat in this too. Because if you had Nia, you had Raquel, you had Rhea, Piper Niven,
Yep.
who was formerly Doudrop. Thank God they gave her name back. Piper Niven, they was big, big meaty women bumping me.
It was. It was.
And this was the one thing I've always had an issue with kind of the women's Royal Rumble more than the men's. It always seems so set up with the women that every time a new woman came out, they would get their moves in and then okay, go on to the side now.
Yeah.
Go on. Shout out to Zelina Vega dressing up as Jury from Street Fighter. And
She's
she's
very
also huh?
she's very small. Like,
She's very small.
when you come out with men, you look small, but it's hard to tell. But when you're with the other women, I was
And she
like,
still look tiny.
she's
Yeah.
like Care Bear, like she's so little.
And they also announced that she's going to be a commentator in Street Fighter 6, which pretty cool too.
Yeah.
But Nikki Cross ran from the entrance to the ramp at full fucking speed. And all I could think to myself is, please don't fall. Please don't fall.
Get up. Get up.
Please. Because she sprinted. She didn't jog. She didn't give a light trot.
She was running like somebody was after her.
Yes.
Like scream.
And
Like,
look, I would have did that run and would have
been.
But no, she got in and immediately started to wrestle.
Yeah. Jacket still on. Girl, get
Jacket still
your
on.
jacket off. Damn. She was ready. I was like, okay.
And shouts out to the murder clown, Oscar. Oscar came back, and I really do hope this is her resurgence to be the killer that she used to be, because NXT Oscar and year one Oscar was such the most dominant force until she lost to Charlotte. And then they started doing that weird shit with her. But I hope this is a return to form, because she came out in new gear, new music, new face paint, and
awesome
on site. Shouts out to Damage Control, because just like McIntyre and Sheamus, they worked as a team.
They did.
They worked as a team until Becky Lynch came out there, and it was like, nah, fam, we're breaking all this shit up.
And she's so skinny.
Becky,
like,
yes.
So skinny. Every time I look at her, I'm like, are you okay? You need to eat. Eat some meatballs.
Okay.
Because she's so skinny. And I don't know. I guess if I was a skinny girl, I wouldn't want to go up against some of those women. Like Rhea and Raquel. I wouldn't even want to go up against Bailey. Like,
right?
No, don't hurt me. I'm skinny.
We had a returning Chelsea Green, and Chelsea Green got in the ring, got thrown right out.
That was embarrassing. I don't even know who that is.
So. I'll give you the deets on Chelsea later.
No
but
problem.
She got in and got right back out. So we had Chelsea Green, Michelle McCool, a returning Nia Jax. And from NXT, we had Roxanne Perez, Zoe Stark, and Indy Hartwell. Which, by the looks of it, I definitely wouldn't be surprised if Zoe Stark and Indy Hartwell probably get called up soon.
Yeah.
I can definitely say, especially with Indy, because Dexter Loomis, Austin Theory, Candice, and Johnny are on the main roster. So I can definitely see Indy being next up because they used to be a stable.
Oh, because you see, I'm looking like,
Yeah. Indy, Candice, Johnny, and Theory used to be a stable called The Way.
ah,
And Indy and Candice were former NXT Women's Tag Champions. And on NXT, Dexter Loomis and Indy got married.
oh, okay.
So they still kind of make references to it. But yeah.
Isn't
Um,
Candace LeRae the one I forget
yes.
with the
She was
wings?
in the she was in
Right,
it.
she was.
Yeah.
Because I said, ain't that the one I forget with the wings?
Yeah. Um
She
what else?
married
What
to
else?
the little man that stayed a long time with the
Yeah,
big
Johnny
boy.
Gargano stayed in too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um but ultimately the final three was Oscar, Liv, and Rhea. Shout out to Liv and Rhea because they was 1 and 2 and they made it to the end. And
Man.
then the whole sequence happened on the apron
Yeah.
for one. And right then and there, I would have been like, oh no. But it led to Oscar spitting. Well, she tried to spit her mist at Rhea. Rhea ducked it and hit Liv.
In the
Then
face.
from there, Rhea threw Oscar off the apron. Liv hit Oblivion on Rhea. She slips but grabs the ropes. And with Rhea being so tall, her feet were like inches from the floor. Then Liv slowly goes to Rhea's hands. And I know by whatever force in heaven, I couldn't do this. She
Ever.
lifts her legs, wrap it over Liv, and just flip her
Tosses
off.
her.
And just,
I would have lifted my legs, farted, fell, and it would have been over. It would have been over.
and Liv would have won just blinded. She would
Right.
just been sitting there like, wait, I win?
Did I win? What happened? Man, look. I was like, look at this athletic bitch. What? No.
So with Rhea winning, she is the first woman to come in number one and win. And she is the fourth wrestler overall to win from the number one position. Unfortunately, one of those wrestlers can never be discussed again, but yes. I'll talk about that later.
Okay.
And then we get the main event for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship. The Tribal Chief Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens. One thing about Kevin Owens, that man can take some punishment.
Listen.
Jesus Christ.
Terminator, because I'm telling you, I would have been loopy and laying on my side drooling.
Loopy. I would have been concussed.
Concussed.
And then of course, throughout the night, well, on the pre-show, Roman tells Sammy, I want you at my side at all times. There won't be no Solo, there won't be no Usos. It'll just be you and I. And it was Sammy, Roman, and Paul Heyman. And for the most part, well, I say for the most part, Sammy stayed out of it.
He did.
Now, the story they was telling was a lot of Zayn's emotions. You didn't know if it was for Roman or it was for KO. And them boys went out there and had a match. They had a match. And like I said, KO, his pain threshold has to be just stupid high because Roman got violent. He speared KO through the barricade to where he threw KO back in the ring. KO rolled out. He threw him back first into the stair part of the steel steps to where his head and back and neck was bouncing off the steel steps twice. He did it twice.
But that man in the crowd that was right there, he was like, do it again.
Then to where he gets KO back in the ring starts slapping him around. KO gives one final defiant slap. Roman hits him with the spear. 1, 2, 3. Roman retains.
Of course.
And while they're showing replay, the whole bloodline comes out. And then Jay was about to crown Sammy as an official. And then Roman was like, nah, not yet. We not done yet. The Usos proceeds to stomp Kevin out as if that man was on fire.
Okay.
And they needed to put it out. They were stomping and punching that man like the fire just won't go out. Then Solo got him some. Then to where Heyman pulls out double handcuffs. They handcuff KO to the ropes like this.
Dang.
And I know this is an AEW term, but then the Usos just throw a super kick party.
They did.
He was hit with 4 individual super kicks from each Uso, then hit with double super kicks twice, and it was like, Jesus.
Like, is he alive? He about to be RoboCop in a minute, cause like, bruh.
Like, they was just beating this man, and all the while, of course, they're like, we need to send security. And Corey Graves was like, who gonna come out there, Cole? Like, who gonna come out and stop this?
I'd be like this. Ooh, I hope
then Roman grabs the chair and was about to finish it. And Sammy was like, no. Come on, Roman. Look, he's done. You don't need to do this. This is beneath you. You're the tribal chief. You're the champ. You don't need to do this. And Roman looks at Sammy and was like, fine, you do it. And then Sammy was just standing there with the chair, mad conflicted, because he was like, I don't know what to do. Excuse me. And Roman was barking at KO like, see, we trying to make him better, and you keep interfering. Let that man be. Let that man be great. And then Sammy was like, nah, I can't do this. And Roman was like, are you crying? There's no crying in the bloodline. He was like, this is your chance. This is your opportunity. Pull the trigger, Sammy. And Sammy pulled the trigger, all right. He hit Roman square in the back with that chair. And for the people who have been watching wrestling long term, the way Roman Reigns fell is the exact same way he fell when Seth Rollins betrayed the Shield. And he hit Roman and Dean Ambrose with chairs. He fell the exact same way. And the crowd went stupid when Zayn hit Roman with the chair. And Jay was like, Sammy, what are you doing? We're supposed to be brothers. And Jay hit that boy with a smooth super kick. And then they started beating down Sammy like he was on fire.
So bad.
All the while, Jay Uso was in the corner like, nah, fam. And then Solo got up, hit that boy with that Samoan spike. It was like, ooh, we.
And he already skinny.
Right? And then Roman gets up, recovers. He's looking at Jay Uso like, what you doing? Right. Jay in the corner, conflicted.
Sad. Face
he is ruined. And then Jimmy was like, you say he's like a brother? We your brothers, which is actually true because he has his twin and his little brother and his cousin. And like, we your brothers. You talking about he your brother? We your brothers. And then Jay leaves. And it was like, oh, what is happening?
Right, Jay, where are you going? Are you confused? He did trip over that cord, though.
He did.
I was like, watch yourself, don't fall.
But Jay leaves, and he takes a slow walk up the ramp because he is in shambles right now.
He had
all the while, Sammy is still getting stomped.
Well, he was like a cigarette butt that wouldn't go out.
Then they ripped the shirt off of him and everything, and
just laying there pink.
And then Jimmy gives KO another pardon super kick, and it was like, God damn.
All right, KO finally kind of sort of heard a voice or two, and then Jimmy was like, "Nah, fuck you."
And then with tattered honorary Uso shirt in hand, the bloodline leaves, and it was like, this is a masterpiece.
This is.
This was cinematic masterpiece. This was 6 months, 6, 7, 8 months of just payoff.
It was. But what did I tell you 6 months ago when you asked me? When you asked me about the honorary Uso, and what I say? I don't trust him.
You know, Mrs. Ladybug said the same.
It's a woman's intuition. I don't trust him. I'm like,
She said the same.
He too soft. That's the thing. He's just too soft. And I'm not gonna say that I didn't understand why he was like, man, come on. But at the same time, you hit Roman.
He hit the chief.
Looking out for you.
He hit the tribal chief.
So what you did was you had explosives on the bridge, and once it blew up and it was ashes, you then brought in a fan to blow the ashes away. Because, bruh, like that's what you doing.
Right.
That's why you laying there pink with your shirt ripped off. Because you did wrong, bro. Like, seriously? That's what you thought? It was like, this what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hit Roman. I hit myself before I hit Roman.
Like, I would expect Sammy just to walk off. But now he hit the chief. And he paid for it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. Also, too, Roman wore that chair out on Sami Zayn.
Oh, yeah, he did.
He wore that chair out on Zayn.
Sami is bruised and just purple and pink. Just.
But yeah, Royal Rumble.
Whew.
Like I said, road to WrestleMania. Like I said, we know for sure Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns. Now, what we don't know for sure is by then, are they going to try to split the belts or let Cody go for both of them? We don't know what's this whole situation with the bloodline looking like. Rhea did a press conference after the show, and she said that she don't know who she's going to challenge yet.
Yeah, I was going to ask that because I passed out. I was knocked out.
Yeah, she said that she don't know who she's going to challenge yet. So it's either going to be Bianca or Charlotte at the moment because they're the two champions. So Royal Rumble 2023. Overall, with the two Rumbles and the main event, I still give it like a good B. Maybe even a B plus because the storytelling with that main event.
Yeah, that's why I said A minus. I mean, even if you take Bianca and Bray's performances out, you gotta have something in there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You gotta have something. But between the Rumbles and the main event, I give it an A minus because I found it very entertaining, very good. I didn't even want to go pee. I was like, ugh.
I was the same way. Like I was sitting there like I don't even want to go to the bathroom.
Right. It was so exciting. And that's why I watch it. I want to be excited. And I just feel like this is what the people want to see. You know, this is what they want. This is why you want to watch this. You know, you don't want it for the boring mess. You want it for the good entertainment. And I thought last night was extremely entertaining and good.
But yeah, Royal Rumble 2023, as told by 2/3 of the Less Than Stealthy Ninjas. Check me out on Tag because we're going to do a more, I guess, technical breakdown of it all, and that should be recorded tonight and probably uploaded tomorrow. But thank y'all for tuning in. Shout out to Cosmic Boss, the third ninja. Run your miss, Scootaloo. And until next time, don't betray your tribal chiefs.
Especially when they fine.
Don't betray your tribal chiefs. Peace, everybody.